When is the last time you laughed? And I don't mean like a chuckle here and there. I mean a good, hearty, belly aching, hurt your cheeks type laughing that made you feel so good. It released all those endorphins and you just had a smile and everything seemed like it could go right with the world because that's how therapeutic that laugh was. It just shook you to your core and everything about it released the endorphins and you felt good. When was the last time you did that? Can you remember? How about when was the last time you laughed as a survival skill, as something to overshadow something else, a nervous laughter? Let's talk.
Colbert Kean Conversations is all about freedom. The freedom to bring out what's already within you. Freedom to overcome your fears. Freedom to crush self-doubt. Freedom to transform hesitation into action, to live in our purpose. Colbert Kean Conversations. Let's talk.
There are a lot of times that we laugh when something's funny, when something makes us smile, when something puts that positive spin on it, and we really just want to laugh because we're happy, we're joyful, we're feeling all the emotions of goodness, and it just produces a laugh, and that's a good thing. Laughing is essential to your soul. So whenever you laugh, consider that you're adding years to your life. But there are times when we laugh because we are not sure what a situation calls for. We're not sure how to react. It's more of a nervous laughter than it is a productive laughter. And those are the times that we have to stop ourselves and really understand, what are we trying to hide from? What are we trying to cover up? Sometimes things aren't funny, but we're laughing to ease the tension or to not display that real emotion that we're trying to not let the other person see. So we laugh, we put that little fake laugh on, or we put that little dismissive laugh to try to distance ourselves from the emotion that we're really feeling, when what we really sometimes want to do is give it a stoic face, or like, what are you talking about? Look. But instead, we laugh. A lot of times that laughter comes from us being overwhelmed. We're mentally taxed. We're stressed. We're trying to carry responsibilities, but we're not trying to ask anybody for help from them. We're trying to do everything, be Superman, Superwoman, and then we don't have room to let go. We don't have room to exhale, and we don't have capacity to be ourselves because we're always on. We don't have the off switch, so we look for coping mechanisms such as laughter as a, not really a space filler, but as an approach, or a response. Because when we laugh, we're disarming people, and we're trying to disarm ourselves or disarm a situation. But sometimes it doesn't do that. Sometimes people look at you like, well, what's she laughing at? Or what's he laughing at? And you really can't tell what you're laughing at. You can't say. You don't know what you're laughing at. Sometimes we're using that laughter as a barricade or a buffer because we don't want people to see the real us, or we don't want them to judge our true reactions or how we truly feel. So we use that as a buffer to try and diffuse a situation, or to try to keep people from seeing the real us, or from eliciting a response that may not be to their liking. So we put up that buffer or that barricade to barricade us in and to keep them out of what we're really feeling, or how our emotions are really causing us to act. And we're worried. We're worried about Will they still respect me? Will they like me? Are they going to talk about me? All of these things go through our mind when we're producing that nervous laughter, when we're producing that laughter to fill space. It's okay to be silent. It's okay to not have to fill every space with words when you're in a conversation. All the things do not call for something to be said all the time. Sometimes you are just to sit there and listen. Sometimes you are just to observe. And when we feel that we have to have something to say all the time, that's when that nervous laughter comes out. Or we're not sure of our response or not sure of what we answered, if the person will like it. So we laugh it off. We're like, yeah, well, I was thinking whatever you were thinking. Yeah. And then you're wondering to yourself, what am I doing? Why am I responding like that? Why am I laughing when nothing's funny? And the truth is, we're using that laughter to avoid a serious response or to not have to tell people how we're really feeling. And then that person or whoever we're talking to sometimes will see that as immaturity. They're like, what are they laughing at? Now, I'm not saying you have to be worried about what other people think of you and how they may be judging you, because they're going to do that regardless. So be you, be your authentic self, but also know that when you're putting on something that is not you, when you're putting on that nervous laughter or you're putting on a facade because you're nervous or you're trying to win their respect or trying to be something you're not, then that's going to come across more as immaturity. Hey everybody, welcome to Mel's Minute. Laughter is good for the soul. Sometimes laughter can ease what you're feeling, but sometimes it erases what you mean. And that's not a reflection on you per se, but that's what you're portraying because of your nervousness and not knowing what to do. Many people sometimes use the humor or use the laughter to survive some kind of a pain or to distance themselves from an actual situation. And when we do that, we're not leaving ourselves open to being comforted or to being understood or to being questioned about what we really may be feeling. Instead, it becomes a shield or it becomes like a release for us. And when we do that, we're not giving others the opportunity to see the real us, to know what it is we really are feeling and what we're looking for in an answer or in a conversation. I can remember a few instances when I used laughter when I should have been speaking up or speaking out on something, but I didn't know what to say or how to respond sometimes, so I had that nervous laughter instead, and it almost gives people permission or an acceptance to be able to continue on with what behavior they're doing that you didn't agree with or that made you feel uncomfortable. But because I didn't speak up, instead I nervously giggled or I laughed it off, then it gave them leeway to continue. So you're letting people learn how to treat you or treat your conversation by how you respond and how you react. If something is bothering you, you need to speak up about it. If something was funny, laugh about it. That's perfectly fine. But make sure that you are true to what you're feeling, that you're true to the emotional weight that you need to be releasing for that situation. And whether that's laughing, crying, being silent, whatever it is, be true to the emotional feeling that you are having. Because when you do that, then people will understand more, okay, she didn't like that, or he didn't like that, or that made them uncomfortable, or man, they really enjoyed that. You want to be sure you're sending the right message So that way, when you're interacting with other people or with that same person again, they know she's not for this or he's not for that. I need to come correct, or I need to be this way with them because this made them feel this. And if they don't respect that, if they continue in that behavior after you've done you've expressed your real emotions, then you probably need to walk away from those situations or walk away from those people, because they're obviously not for your good. Because anyone who would consciously continue to make you feel uncomfortable, they are not for your good, period. So you have to realize that when you're laughing and however it's making you feel, you have to know that it's not denying a situation or whatever conversation that you're in. It's not denying the severity of it or the intensity of it. It's more so you finding out how to regulate your emotions. Some things are going to call for laughter, and that's a release. Sometimes it eases tension, it eases strain, and that's a good thing. But you have to know if that's what it's called for or if that's what you're just responding to. So you have to recognize that. And the way that you can do that, one simple thing that you can do is ask for clarification. Ask. I know sometimes that is one of the hardest things for us to do because we're worried about how people will see us and how they will respond. Will they be like, oh my gosh, he does not have a clue of anything, or he doesn't have a clue of anything? Or will they be like, I'm glad you asked that question. Thank you for asking that question. I'm happy to clarify for you. Now, if it comes to that, then you obviously know that that was not a laughing situation, because something that's genuinely funny, you're going to bust up. I'm going to bust up. I hope you do. Maybe your emotional regulator is off. Who knows? But asking for that clarity helps you know that, okay, this is what they meant, and now I can respond in a way. So you don't have to guess at what the person was trying to say, or guess at what the conversation was about, or guess how you should be responding to that. The thing we do is not ask enough questions. We just assume from what we're hearing. And in one of my previous episodes, I talked about that. Everybody is hearing things different. So there is nothing wrong with asking for clarity and getting an understanding of the conversation or an understanding of a situation, because what you're hearing may just be based off your emotions from a whole nother situation that you haven't quite figured out how to regulate yet. Somebody may have made you mad, or you experienced something that upset you, and you're carrying that into another conversation. So your sensors may be off. What you're perceiving could be off. And something truly was funny, and you do need to laugh. So one thing you can do is notice whenever you laugh and how you feel. Do you feel that you're nervous? Do you feel that something was genuinely funny? Does it help you reset in a whole situation? How do you feel when you're laughing for a given situation? And if you find something genuinely funny, laugh, and laugh without guilt. Laugh without wondering what somebody else is thinking. Genuinely, wholeheartedly, belly, deep laugh. Just laugh. It will make you feel really good. I promise you, it will make you feel good. And then share a moment with somebody else. I always say sometimes people need to borrow your smile because they forgot how to produce their own. So if you give them something that's to smile about or laugh about, it's contagious. It is contagious. When you are laughing, when you are smiling, others will catch on. And then they'll be wondering like, well, what's she laughing at? Sometimes you're just in a good mood, and that's a good thing. Laughter is good. But we should learn to use humor and use laughter as a pause sometimes, not as a escape from a situation because we're nervous. And we talked about escapism on a previous episode also, because things we're trying to avoid And laughter we could be using as an avoidance of something that's really serious, but we just maybe don't know how to answer. Remember, the next time you get ready to nervous laugh, ask a question and gain some clarity. It'll help you out, I promise. Thank you for joining Colbert Kean Conversations. And remember, take what you need and leave the rest. And you don't have to fix everything today. Colbert Kean Conversations, real conversations for real life. See you next Wednesday.